2025. Coach Ray, I think if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, board members. Let the record reflect 4 board members present. Mr. Chris had a work event come up and is unable to attend today. So we've got some recognition and reports. Are we moving all that to the afternoon?
Yes, please.
Okay, so board members, a little change here. We're going to move this to the afternoon and we'll get started with our 2000 series, which is a primary reason we're here today, to look through and get our policies updated. So I will turn it over to the superintendent and his staff.
Yep. Before we go into that, I just want all the board members to make sure, take this home with you, and you want to scan this QR code, can't speak. This is a free service from the Department of Education through the Cook Center, and our principals and our counselors have been made aware of this, and this is free coaching or free counseling, whatever you choose. You just go on there and you say that you're from Fayette County, and your information will be covered like HIPAA. Nobody will know. We won't even know. We don't need to know. But what's nice about this is sometimes people just need a little help with coaching on how to deal with a child that could be either yours or a grandparent, to work with them to help them to be more successful. So just wanted to make you aware of this. Take this home. Share this with people in the county. This is a free service for our parents and for our staff. And a lot of people have enjoyed using this because you can select the time that you want to meet with a coach or a counselor through this. And now they have something new. They use AI with this one doctor. He's got over 20-some years of experience. You can talk to him with AI, and then he will give you some help with some suggestions. So you can either say, give me the long version or a short version if you want, and it'll work with you on that as well. So free service from the Department of Ed and from the Cook Center. I think you guys saw Mr. Lee at a board.
At our fall conference.
Yeah. So it's very similar to what he talked about there. There's some nuances to it that are new and updated, but we can start with each policy and just walk you through that, and I'll have Ms. Dooley start that out with 2069 and walk through them. Is that okay?
Yeah, before we leave this, I will say we were at a holiday concert at Anstead Elementary Saturday, and on their program, they had this QR code and they announced this to all the parents there. I thought that was
Yeah.
a good way to do that. So, and a reminder, we've got our cheat sheet, board members, so
I
hopefully
like
that was
it, by the way.
helpful.
That was very nice to have.
Ms. Dooley took care of you guys.
We'll kind of do that every time from now on because there's so much.
Do we need a motion before we talk about these?
Um,
How are you doing this?
Yes,
That's a good
we
question.
actually do, even though it's a work session,
I
so.
was like, wait a minute, we're not.
So do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Croom, thank you, Ms. Whitlock, and now I'll open the floor up. And Ms. Dooley, you have the floor.
So our first policy we have is religious and patriotic ceremonies and observances. And this is policy 8800. And on our cheat sheet, if you take a look at this one, it is a medium change in the policy. It's the very bottom in the center row. And it adds "In God We Trust." Mr. Payton has put those signs to all the schools. And Mr. Payton, you want to kind of tell where those
That's
signs are?
basically, I was just gonna say that they're inside the main entrance of the school. They're a little bit different than the school, but they're basically inside the front door. They're hanging up there. And that's the only change to this, that requirement, that we have that "In God We Trust" poster. And that is state law.
Any
Yeah, I
questions?
guess mine is a comment,
Okay.
more than anything else. I know this policy's, is in place and must be that way. But on the third paragraph, the board acknowledges that it is prohibited from adopting any policy or rule respecting, what do you mean respecting? I'm misreading that, I guess this bothers me. Or promoting an establishment of religion or prohibiting any student from the free individual and voluntary exercise or expression of the student's religious beliefs. I know it's been in there. I realize that it's been around for some time. But I think we've done it in the county overall. You all have done a pretty good job allowing our kids to express themselves in a reasonable way. And I hope we can, can maintain that position on that. And under, down in the bottom, the board shall not conduct, I understand that, or sanction a baccalaureate service in conjunction with graduation ceremonies. Does that mean that our schools shouldn't even announce it, or nothing?
No, it shouldn't be in the school.
Or is that, you mean,
It's just not in the school.
It's not in the physical
not in the
school.
school.
Usually do
I
it
know
at
baccalaureate
church.
services aren't. It's held in a church somewhere.
You can
Yeah.
tell people when and where they are, but I mean, you can't force people to go.
Right.
You can't sponsor.
No, no,
it.
But we say, this kind of reads, don't even say a thing about it.
Well, Coach, you and I were principals of the same high school. I did the same thing that you did.
That's right.
The baccalaureate
I just
service
want to
at
stress,
this place
yeah.
at this time on this night, and, you know.
I think we can allow people to know what's going
That's
on.
exactly right.
I figured that was the way it was. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks, guys.
You want us to move on to the next one? Okay.
We're ready.
Just want to make sure we're not stepping on anybody's toes.
Yes. So our next policy is 8400 school safety, and this is a policy that Mr. Payton oversees, and this is a new policy for Fayette County Schools. It's been a state code for a long time, but we just didn't have a policy on our website and our books to reflect that. And so, Mr. Payton, is there anything that you would like to talk about with this policy?
And that basically sums it up. It is a new policy. We do all of these things, but this kind of puts it into the formula. And it also establishes the school safety, hold on one second. Make sure I get my policies correct here. So this one also establishes a county safety team, which we did all the things, we just didn't have that formalized process. So this just formalizes that process.
This committee you're on, Mr. Broom. That's the committee you're on. I tell you, myself, I've heard a lot of good things about our safety issues in our county.
Right.
I think you're all doing the right things. And that's good to know.
Yeah, you see a lot of press about the cost that it's costing all the school systems, and Fayette County was
Yeah.
used the funding in a good way and had Tim leading and a lot of cooperation. So when a police officer, this is gonna sound terrible, and you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. When a police officer enters the commitment to be a pro officer, do they still go by the same physical fitness regiments that are required of those officers in there, if they were in their other role?
So they're supposed to, if they're attached, whatever department or they're attached to,
Right, right.
they have to meet those requirements.
Okay.
Okay, so if they're a sheriff or if they're a municipal, department, they have to meet those requirements.
Okay, you know why I'm asking, I'm sorry. My obvious question there?
It makes
Just depends
sense.
what the requirements are.
Yeah, I know,
For each
I just,
department.
I'm picturing, anyway.
That's what bothers me a
Any of
lot.
them running down the hall, and there's a question in my head.
I understand.
Okay, I don't have to go any
Nope.
further. I'm
What
sorry.
bothers me
On to the next policy.
is the job, Tim, you all have
That was
done,
very
and Joby.
Tactful.
And, you know, in some of these other areas, like in Charleston area, they're starting to talk about how good a job they're doing. You all been doing it for years, or not years, but quite some time.
It is.
But we don't get the press.
It is
Think-
huge.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It-
You know, I think our county, under the leadership we have here, led the way.
I think,
And I just can't understand, again, I guess, I like to see us get patted on the back as well.
Well, every
Going
once
good?
in a while, I see a new law come out, and I'm like, we already.
You've been doing
We already
that.
did
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
And
You
that-
could have taught them.
And that's the case with some of these things.
Yeah.
Why did you pay for that?
And that's
We
what,
used our COVID
that's,
money.
Tim has done an excellent
Yeah.
job, because
Yeah, I agree.
I challenge anybody to look at what other states are doing when it comes to safety in their schools, because I do a lot of research on this. We're ahead of just about everybody in the United States with what we're doing in our schools, and I'm very proud of that. And I think that's one of the things I keep harping about. We got to sell Fayette County, because Fayette County is doing some remarkable things when it comes to safety. And I think if our parents and people saw that, they would generate a whole lot more respect for this county than what there is out there. So I'm very proud of what Mr. Payton is doing.
Not everyone.
Right.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you.
And we're trying to promote that a little bit more. Next week, we recorded this yesterday. Those two guys call it the Mike and Mike Show. I know we joke around about that. But on a
And
serious
that's a big
note,
plus, too.
those two talked on podcasts. I just asked them some questions. What do you guys do, and what do you see, and what are you doing to prevent things? And then Mo was on there too, and we talked about what Mo's also doing. Mo's kind of our little secret weapon behind the scenes by doing all the stuff with technology, and same with Bob. Between those two guys, I think you're right. We have a good team led by Tim Payton. It's actually working out really well. So sometimes if you toot your horn too much, all of a sudden people they can take notice. But sometimes what happens is, politically speaking, they want you to go down a road of maybe getting different vendors. But if we can do it ourselves, why not just do it ourselves?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So they've done a great job with that.
I think we need to let our parents know what you're doing and what you're doing to keep our kids safe. And again, from what I've heard from other counties, you guys are already there. And we just need to keep it up.
And I appreciate that, but we constantly are looking for ways to improve though, and there's always room for improvement. And there are some things that some other counties are doing. They brought some people in to do some things for them. So they might be a little ahead of us in some of those areas, but we're doing it ourselves, and I feel like we're just gonna have a better product, and that we'll understand it, have a deeper understanding of it.
Right.
When we're done with it, that's all. So we're just gonna keep moving forward and keep trying to improve.
And I think another thing too that you can look at, I know I'm at a lot of ball games. You see security people, you see our officers. And I know we probably don't collect data, but I don't see a whole lot of the disruptions. I don't see a whole lot of the arguing, the fighting, the disruptions that we've seen in the past. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that the safety issues we have out there now, what we have, you know. I think that has a lot to do with it.
And I think we also want to thank our citizens
Yeah.
for helping us have the funds through our levies.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were talking this morning, we have some Project Aware funds that we must liquidate by the end of the year. And we were talking about, the three of us, some safety things that we're asking Project Aware to help fund for us as well.
With the new school coming on now with Anstead, all of our schools will have, you know, the entryways and
Safe,
everything.
safe schools entrance.
Safe component. How are we doing with keeping our doors locked on the perimeters?
We're doing great with our doors, especially our exterior doors. Every once in a while, we have an issue with an interior door, and that a teacher has left a room, it's an empty room, and they left the door open. Our policy is to close them off the door. We don't want a place for somebody to be able to go in and hide and things like that. So whether you're in the room or not in the room, and every once in a while, students will have left the room and it'll be a teacher's planning or something, and this is not a huge issue. I say every once in a while, I mean, I get those reports every month, and I might see 2 of them out of all the hundreds of rooms that we're trying, you know, so, but a teacher will the students will have left the room, it's their planning time, they'll have walked over to their desk and not closed their door, and that's about the time Mike or Mike walk by, or
Yep.
Tim walks by, or whatever, you know, and it's like, and they're like, oh, the kids just left, I get that, but, you know, but shut your door.
Yeah.
You know, it's important that everyone remain as safe as possible. So exterior doors, not seeing an issue with that, it's rare that we see an issue with that.
Good.
But interior doors, like I said, every once in a great while, you see something like that.
Yeah,
But,
I think that explanation though is good, and we, from a climate and culture perspective, need to make sure that everybody's aware that, you know, it's like, oh, there's no kids in here, but it could become a place that someone goes in to set a trap, right, or something, so making sure we get that message out, that's why we want them shut.
And whether it's
you
a
know.
counselor's office, or the nurse's office, or a teacher on planning, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's close and lock those doors.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good job.
All right, any other questions or comments on 8400? Okay.
Can I just mention just one thing that I appreciate in this sort of in this realm? We have one of our teachers running the teen court experience now, and our teen court committee meets at the school. And I think that is such a powerful thing for any school to allow to have happen. Members of the public who represent the Women's Resource Center and
Yeah.
FMRS and all these different community organizations to be in a school setting with a teacher instead of the teacher coming out all the time. And I think it's a positive, you know, we walk in, we all do our ID, we're a group, we have a list, I mean, we follow all of the rules.
Yeah.
But those rules shouldn't prohibit community members from learning about firsthand experiences in the school. And it does mean a lot of good to be able to go in and see the reaction of the other people that I'm with who don't have the school experience. But I just wanted to put that in there. It has nothing to do with this.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because when Mike and Mike were talking yesterday on the podcast, that was one thing that the county does a really good job is, if you come in, you get a background check, in essence, not as deep as what you do for a job, but you get a background check, and they also give you a badge with your picture on it. The reason why I'm telling you that, on a lighter side of it, we even made Jennifer Garner do it too. And she did that. And I know it sounds kind of funny,
No,
but
it's
even
not.
a celebrity had to do the same thing everybody else had to do,
That's
so.
how she learns and then talks about us later because
Yep.
it's happened.
I know it's kind of funny. I'm not trying to put a plug in because Jennifer Garner showed up here. I'm just saying that we talked about that yesterday when you brought that up, and I thought that's another mechanism to do a quick background check. We're not going to find everything on someone, but if we find anything, be like, we can't allow you to come into the school. And we can address that privately without them being called out in front of
And
everybody.
allowing people in your school following your rules is
Yeah.
also important because
Yes.
that's how you promote.
Mhm.
It's that one-on-one experience in that school. You see art, you see, you know, the lunch thing where the kids eat lunch in the hallway.
Yeah.
You see all the things that are talked about by the kids and the teachers, and I think that's an experience that I'm glad that we allow, I guess is what I'm saying.
There's another important piece of this policy as well on page 3 and 4. This is where it speaks about videos in the special ed classrooms.
Right, right.
And so that is embedded in several policies of the special ed videoing. And also it talks about, at the bottom, the suspension and dismissal due to what may be viewed on those, which would lead to reporting. And we've done that all along, but we just didn't have a policy in
Right.
place. So that one was really important for that part.
All right.
And then our next one, are we ready?
Yep,
Okay.
I think so.
Our next one is another Mr. Payton policy. And this one is a new policy. And it was proposed in August of 2025. And this has about our school safety personnel. It has very many, working parts to it. And Mr. Payton and I had many conversations about this as we were working on it.
Back and forth.
We sure did.
So basically, it talks about, who we hire as a school safety officer, school security officer, and what those qualifications need to be, and Mike and Mike fit those qualifications. Basically, we're looking for a, former police officer, in good standing, certain amount of experience, all those things. And whether or not we're gonna allow them to carry a weapon, that's at the superintendent's discretion, and we do that. If you look at the last page though, it talks about the 3 options for employing a school safety officer. We have employing a school safety officer as a board employee, contracting with private security, and then contracting with an independent individual. We employ our safety officers as as board employees. We do that first option. We can do the other things according to law. We can do those things, but we don't at this point do that. And I like having them as our employees.
Yes. Great.
I don't know, if you just seem like you have a little bit more control, a few more layers of checks and,
Right.
different things that you can do, that you can control, that you couldn't necessarily do with an independent person. Now,
Exactly.
there's lots of background things, lots of things that they're supposed to do, lots of requirements that they have, and they're just like the requirements we have, but we didn't do it. So I just like the fact that we have that control with OSMAC, but we have those other options there too.
Great.
I have one question. It's not in the policy. I don't know that it needs to be, but we have at Fayetteville Pre-K specifically, it may be in other places, but we have parents that come in and help to, I don't want to use the word patrol, but they come through and help the administration on the
Kind of like a
grounds.
safety patrol,
Yes,
something like
it's- I
that.
can't remember the, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So do we need to have something in the policy that reflects that this may be allowable in our
I
schools?
keep looking at Denise, because I think we do already, the volunteer policy.
That's
Yes.
that are approved through our volunteer process,
Mhm.
where they have to have, they submit a volunteer application at the school level, and then we do our, just our volunteer background check, so they.
So I'm just wondering if we need a statement in this policy that may even reference back
Oh, okay.
to that policy. Just something to think about.
We can do
Sure,
that.
we can do that.
Okay.
Don, are you gonna make note? Do you want me to?
I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on 8400.01? If not, we'll move on to 2605.
So 2605, I'm going to take a look at our sheet.
Yeah, I like looking at that too.
Yeah, it is program accountability. It just has one small addition to it. And the small addition came in the second paragraph. It was mainly a grammatical thing. For the Legislative Oversight Commission on Education, LOCIA. That was the change. That was all. The only thing that changed in that policy.
Okay.
So that was an easy one. I don't know if you have any questions about accountability and evaluation. This really talks about how we identify, how the schools are identified in the state, is if they're a CSI, an ATS, or an ATSI school.
All right, I think we're good. 3120?
And so 3120.
The first column, the first, fifth one down.
Oh, this is Denise's, isn't it? She knows this one. Okay, so on this one, we have employment of professional personnel. And what we added for this one, the big piece of it, was we added the troops to teachers piece of this.
Which is just another avenue of teacher certification that the Department of Education has implemented a little bit stronger hold on that.
Any questions on that?
I think that was the only addition, really, other than the strikeout. So.
Okay. to move on to 4120.01. It's food service. Person.
All right, Andy, so,
Okay, so there was a state law that was passed in the last legislative session. I talked about it with you guys, discussed it with you guys when it was passed. Basically, it prohibited listed food dyes, red dye number 2.
no, that's,
No, you're not there
this
yet.
is not that one. This one just has some
This is food service
strikeouts.
personnel.
This is personnel.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, this is
the
one-
food service personnel, I'm
This
sorry.
is about the high school diploma. So
Oh.
the only thing we had on this was a strikeout. We had some strikeouts where food service personnel for the first time must have, that we have those strikeouts.
That's the way the state
Yeah.
of
They no longer
education's
have to have a high
competency
school diploma.
category.
That's
Yeah.
right, they have to
Which
pass
is-
the test.
Yeah, that, I mean, they still have to pass the cook's test, but that's a really great thing because we need cooks.
Mhm.
The less barriers there are, the great, the better.
I think it's too bad that in education, we have to call it high
What?
school diploma and a GED a barrier.
Yeah,
Just an opinion.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's a barrier.
I think we side with you on that one.
I think that's,
And on that one too, we have a couple other strikeouts about nepotism, basically, on page 2 of 4.
Mhm.
And then we also have an addition where if they mistake facts on their application, we can terminate.
All right, we can move to 5113.
Oh, okay, open enrollment for non-residents. This is Ms. Hedrick. We just have a few grammatical errors on this one that were changed. There's not a whole lot of changes, and
This is one that we had looked at previously in our extracurricular meeting. I know that Mr. Ray had already looked at that. Are there any questions about that?
Looks pretty good.
This is one that I know that not only in Fayette County, but in a lot of counties has been, I don't want to say a hot topic, but yet also a hot topic with students coming in and then chronic absenteeism, different things of that nature coming in.
That was still 4120.01.
that, that's 51.
No, we're,
5113.
Yeah, 50. Open enrollment of
Yeah.
non-residents.
Not in big changes.
Any additional questions on that policy?
How many Allen County residents do we have at this time enrolled in our school?
That'll be on our scorecard here,
Okay,
but we do have out-of-county transfers right now is 107.
is that increased, decreased?
We only do it like at semesters, you know, so we don't
I mean, from
have,
last year's past.
I don't know.
It's hard to
Maybe
tell.
Ms. Hedrick can tell?
I
You
don't know, I've not tracked that before this year. when
You know.
Because generally speaking, these kids right on the border of our county and another county,
Yes, sir.
like in Dixie and places like that.
Right, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Allow it at certain times, I mean, and then especially with the younger grades, you know, there has to be
Yeah.
the capacity for that. And I know that we were working with a family from a certain area, again, and last year it wasn't able to occur. This year it was able to occur due to the capacity in the classrooms, especially with elementary.
How many are we losing? It'll be on the scorecard also, won't it? How many are transferring out of the county?
Well, we only report that at the semesters.
Yeah.
What do we have right now? We don't know the semester.
Well, we have it from the beginning of the year.
Okay, what was that?
And at the beginning of the year, transfers out of county, well, I was incorrect. Transfers into the county are 65. Transfers out of county are 107.
How many?
107.
So we lost more than we gained.
Yeah, we have.
A lot of those, though,
Our
are,
Kanawha County.
Is that
Students that-
go to Riverside?
yeah, some of that, and then students follow parents into other
We
We
counties.
don't count, we
they
count
work
those as
at.
well? The ones
We
go to
don't.
Riverside?
No, we don't count.
I think we
Riverside.
did.
No, we don't. These are forms that we get, and I know that we have,
Okay.
when we update this again for the second semester, it won't change much. Lisa's received a few
Right.
requests, but it usually doesn't happen during the school
Now,
year.
the state money follows them, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And then we get the money if we're ones that come in here.
yes.
So it didn't even out for us. We kind of lost more money than we gained.
Yeah.
But that's kind of been the trend
It
for
has been.
years. We've had more go out than come in.
Yeah.
I think that gap has kind of shrunk a
Oh, I
little
wonder-
bit, though.
Why are we losing more than we're gaining, I guess my question is because of geographics, where people live,
That's part
or
of it.
because of our education system
But you
versus theirs?
also-
Counties
You also,
and
you
Clay counties are good to Clay County because they're right on the line. It's
Yeah.
closer to them.
Nicholas
It's the
County.
same kids every year, basically, it really is. It's the same kids every year.
and believe it or not, Coach, some of it is due to sports.
I know, I wasn't gonna go there.
Yeah.
Mr. Groom did.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
It's good
Thank you.
information for us
Yeah.
to have for sure.
Well, and it's nice to have this scorecard because it's a quick reference for all of us too.
Yep. All
thank you,
right.
Don.
Any other questions on 5113? Okay, we'll move on to 5350.
And this was suicide prevention, and there is just some technical corrections on this one. And that would be on the second page. And the technical corrections confirm the news and convening of an educational support team. And we will have the principal contact the superintendent. And then we will contact the staff. And that was the only technical change in that.
So my question here is, and it's not, that nobody in this room can probably answer it, but, and I just looked it up for my own blank brain. So the Jason law was passed in 2012. Mandatory training for all professional educators. In-service training must include 2 hours of youth service, suicide awareness. Training is required in order to maintain teaching license. None of that is in here. And it's, I mean, I don't know. We're following Jason's law by having this policy. But the stipulations of what the law says is not in here. And it says all school personnel should be alert, disseminate and provide opportunities to discuss. But the requirement is mandatory training for all professional educators, in-service training under Jason's law. This seems a little wishy-washy compared to what the law says to me. And I'm bringing it up so that it's in a public forum and it is brought up. But we've been here, we've been down this path in Fayette County. And if we don't do what the law says, we're not helping our kids. The other issue with this is, and to me in the law, is it's mandatory training for professional, in-service training must include professionals. And I think some of the people who are key to saving our kids' lives are in the in-service world. That's just my opinion. It's not in the law that it has to be in their license, but it says training is required in order to maintain or renew their teaching license.
So we do
If you
train
could-
everyone annually. The policy doesn't say we have to, and it's everyone. It's professional and service. We
All
do
right.
it in our safe school
I
training.
just felt the spiritual urge to bring it up.
Well, and if you, Ms. Whitlock, if you go to the first page,
I'm the person who would do
if
that.
you go to the first page, it'd be 1, 2, the third paragraph there. Upon employment every 3 years, the state Board of Ed shall provide routine education for all professionals. But we not only do that, but like we said, annually, Plus that Vector Solutions is another place that we try to get that put in there as well.
Right. And we have a lot of resources to help with this,
Yeah.
but I think, what we miss is probably the substitute level. If it only happens every 2 years, you do it annually.
Yeah.
It's not required.
You're right, for those people who are substituting in long-term positions, that's the thing. They do get that training.
Okay.
So should we
I
insert that in our
trust all of you,
policy?
But I just
though?
wanted to check with the law.
Insert
That
what?
that we do annually,
Yeah.
and that we do ensure substitutes are trained on this. Because that's our policy. State law doesn't always,
No.
that's our minimum requirement. We can go
Sure,
over.
we can
Yeah, we are not minimum in this county.
Right.
Yeah. And, just another note, we're also training folks that are not in the school system. And the way we're doing, because they don't have a Vector Solution
Right.
login, we now have some of those trainings on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we can show some of these other trainings as a YouTube link, for example, to some of our parents, social workers that don't have that. So the state's really been working with us to develop those links. And that's something that Rhonda has really been good about staying on top of and working on these YouTube links to train.
Maybe on that paragraph where it says upon employment, we could say at the end of that, because it's just one long sentence there, however, Fayette County Schools will do the training annually or some kind of verbiage of that. Maybe we can check with Neola on that.
Yeah, if we could do upon employment and every year.
Yes, yeah, I like
Instead of
that.
every 3.
Right.
Just mark out every 3 and just make that every year after.
Well, wait, I'm not trying to push back too hard, but that
Okay.
says the State Board of Ed.
Shall provide. You're
There,
right.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm saying at the
Yeah.
end, you might say,
Gotcha.
however, Fayette County Board,
Okay.
that way it's specific to us, if that makes sense. We can figure out that verbiage. I don't mean to challenge you like that.
No, you're exactly
You know,
right.
because the
I
State
wasn't
Board
thinking
does that
about
every 3, yeah.
Well, we can segment that. This is our policy though, so
Yeah.
it's understood this is Fig County.
Does that work for you all then with that?
And maybe, even though we use Vector Solutions right now, we may move away from that platform. And I'm not suggesting
Yeah.
that we are or thinking about it,
Yeah.
but maybe not outline the specific platform that we
Right.
require the training, but just the training.
Exactly, yeah.
I can even make it as vague as Fayette County Board requires training of all personnel yearly.
Yeah. Because like Ms. Whitlock says, we have resources here in the county that could provide that and bring them in and work with us.
And there's regional work through the FRS to get new people identified.
Yeah.
Because it's not always the best policy to have the hometown team doing everything, especially when the hometown team is also affected.
True.
So it really does help to have that community support so that you can have somebody from Seneca come in and help Katie's staff when Katie's staff is as affected as every kid has been.
Yeah.
True.
But I think we need to include upon employment and annually. I think because someone could come in, in the middle of a year, right?
Mhm.
Specifically substitute, so.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
discussion.
All right, anything else on 5350? Okay, if not, let's move to policy 6200.
And this is in our first column. And this is fund accounting, and there was a technical correction. And you can see those are calls here. And she was agreement that everything was correct. So you can see there on B and C, where they took out not a sub-account of the general fund. Paul, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, this is basically technical corrections for the federal funds that we receive every year on the ARP funds and the RMs in the past. It's just corrected the federal regulations. Some changes in the way we do business.
Any questions?
I
6200?
mentioned this before, and you probably answered it, and I don't remember, but in business, when a new CEO or a new whoever comes into a business, the organization is audited so that that new person doesn't get blamed for somebody else's mess. How do we do that? When a new principal comes into a school,
We're audited annually, as are our schools. Our schools
Okay.
are audited annually, so, like the changes that we've made this year, we're auditing last year's stuff so that the new principals will see what was going on then, but yeah.
so is that, are you comfortable with how that's done? Or is any principal ever asked for an audit before they take the reins of a school?
No principal is asked, no.
Also, just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments on 6,200? Okay, we'll move to 7,450.
And this one is a lot of federal issues for federal reporting of property inventory, and we inventory every 2 years instead of annually. And so our technical correction is going to be the drafting note was removed, which allows for a $10,000 threshold. And we count 5,000 instead of 10,000.
Question, Don, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Warble. The extracurricular committee is working on or discussing inventory of equipment for athletic purposes. Is it included in this as part of needing to be,
It can be, yes.
what is it, I mean, it should,
Any kind of property inventory would be, but the main focus is federal, but we can actually add that
this is
in.
federal primarily.
It is, but if you want to.
Okay, well, I'm just, we need to have a way to make sure our schools are inventorying their equipment, whether it be, extracurricular football, band, equipment, whatever. We need to have something to give us strength to make sure our schools are doing that. I didn't know whether this would cover it or not. Sorry for my voice, I lost it.
It's not part of this policy, but it is part of the state's, West Virginia accounting procedures for the schools. So inventories for the athletic.
Annually.
Yes, yes.
Now, are we enforcing that?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Are we enforcing that?
We are trying to, yes, yes.
Who's responsible at the
The
school?
principal is responsible.
So
So,
it should happen.
Yes.
yeah, so my question is, where is it in our policies?
Well, in our policy, we state that we follow West Virginia, policy 1224.1, which is West Virginia Department of Ed policy, which is our accounting procedures for the school systems. We're also putting it in our, the extracurricular committee is reviewing a coach's manual school.
Right.
Handbook is, yeah.
It's gonna be in that handbook also.
Okay, but we do have a reference to the accounting policies based, it doesn't necessarily go in this one because this is federal, right?
Right, right.
Gotcha.
And you'll look for this one to come back to you to change again, because the federal government has actually increased their threshold to 15,000. The state has not followed suit yet, so we're still at 10,000 because that's what the state's policy is.
And as a board, we have the ability to change that threshold, correct?
We can.
For
yes,
our
we
local
can lower it,
policy.
yes.
So I think before we change anything, we would want to bring it before the board.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Our schools could save a lot of money if they inventory every year like they're supposed to.
We can change that. We have it every 2 years, but we can change it 2 years.
This is 2 years, I think already, for the purpose of our programs, and I'm talking about across the board, they need to make sure they take care of their equipment and have it inventory.
But it
That's
sounds
not
like-
disposable.
Or are we talking two different things?
This one's a state or local, this one's
Yeah.
federal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I already put the federal away.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So it
That
sounds
helps
like
to
we
say
already
that.
have it. We already have annual in policy.
Yeah.
Yes. But to go back to your statement, we should, but I don't think we have, and that's why the extracurricular committee
why
is
I'm
meeting
present.
more to get this cleaned up.
The extracurricular committee will make sure they bring this, we need some language to make sure it's in our handbook, so to speak, where it can reference something, to make sure. And again, I don't think, look, even thinking back, how many times we've actually lost equipment, it involves everybody. And it's hard to do, but we need to make a exerted effort to make sure it's happening.
And I'll have language, where our next meeting, we are
Okay.
discussing that manual, so.
Okay, thank you.
we'll have language.
So I have a suggestion that within this policy, though, that we put a reference to our annual requirement that is in the other policy, right? So they're not in conflict, because someone could pull this out and say, well, I don't need to do it, but every 2 years. So I think it doesn't have to have the same language, but just a reference to.
Well,
Right.
I noticed at the end that West Virginia Board Policy 1224.1 is referenced as one of the legal references in the policy. So, it's in there that policy is part of this policy, but we don't specifically spell out that there's different program restrictions for the athletics.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure our policy, other policies
Right.
noted in here. And then a question for Bob, because Bob, several of our technology assets are under $1,000, so they're probably well under the 5,000. But you do audits on our technology more often?
All technology equipment, the computers, no matter what the cost, we inventory them and we assign them with the new system, the Incident IQ, to a student so that we can track that computer in terms of use, breakage, etc.
And is that in policy today?
I don't know, we've just done it, because that just seemed to me the best thing to do. We've been doing that.
Bob, when we dispose of stuff like that, how is that disposal actually handled?
Once it gets so old that obsolete where they will not work with the current systems or our current software, we have a recycling firm that comes in and will take those.
So I think we need that in policy as well. I don't know if it goes into an existing policy or a new policy, but I think that technology is different. We do it today, but if we don't have it in policy, it doesn't mean we do it tomorrow, right? So,
If you look at H.
Yeah, it says something about
It does. Letter H
Policy,
does
uh-huh.
talk about this, about how we,
using it to,
yes, how we do dispose of it.
I don't know whether that the federal and
Yes.
states.
but that doesn't really talk about technology and under the $5,000 limit and yearly inventory. So I think that we need to make a note that, I don't know that it goes in this
No,
policy.
it probably doesn't.
It says something about.
Bob, as far as our equipment that we give kids and the teachers, do we have a pretty good track record of getting that back? Or we're losing a lot of stuff?
No, that's the reason why we track it. Even when we update a teacher's computer, we exchange hands. I hand them, they hand me the old one,
Good
to
job,
make sure we get it back.
good job.
And when our administrators at the schools engage with technology companies and obtain technology outside of your department, is that inventoried within your technology list?
They have to send that in.
We ask, and I've talked with finance, and we kind of have this verbal agreement, and they do that. That no matter where it's bought, it comes through us, we inventory it, and we send it on to the school.
Okay, so I think that needs to be in policy as well. And I know through empowerment, we've done that, right? Empowerment purchased cameras for each of the empowerment schools. It was sent over to technology. They recorded it in inventory and then sent it to the. Okay.
Bob approves all of our purchase orders for technology before they're even sent out. And we also, like like he was saying, we try to have everything shipped to the technology department, even if it's a school's purchasing it, and that way they record it and send it out to the schools.
But even in this instance, that wasn't required. I made the request after speaking with Bob, so we probably, how often does that happen that we don't know about, right? So unless it's in policy, we can't enforce that. So we need some kind of reference in policy.
Sure, I'll take a look at that. I'll be bringing that to you soon.
All right, any other questions on 7450? Okay, if not, let's go to 8350.
And this is confidentiality. This is talking about personal identifiable information called PII, basically. And it also talks about us being allowed to give parents information. And the only grammatical error is down near the very bottom, the last little mini paragraph, they marked out the word which and changed it to that. So that's the only big change in that policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was taught, don't use the word that.
Any questions on?
As you can see, it was last adopted in 2020, so it's been a while since that one has updated.
All right, we'll move on to 0142.3.
And this is regarding you guys. And I know that you've talked about this before, but it's orientation and training for board members.
We've increased the number to 12 now, haven't they?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And I know on the second page, it talks about in the final year, and then a 4-year term, members shall satisfy the training requirements before January 1. So, for example, I guess it affects this year myself, Mr. Groom and Mr. Gray, we must, before January 1, have 12 hours.
But you do that when you go to your weekend meetings?
I mean, but we have to achieve that. Sometimes if you don't make it, or you may not achieve that,
Sure.
but it's required now.
Yes, it is, by January.
So we need to look back at our training hours, make sure we achieved that, yeah. Correct?
Yes, sir, if you've gone to every,
13.5
yeah, if you've gone to each of them, you would be good.
You all
right now.
should be over the 12, I think.
Yes.
Should be.
13.5.
But that's
Unless you had to
been-
miss something.
But that language
But
has
you haven't
been
missed.
stricken, right?
No, not
On
on,
page 202?
yeah. But then it comes down again in the final year.
Right above C.
Yes, right.
Yeah, if you
above
see that little paragraph, it says in the final year. Now, if you're not running though, then
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. But if you three are running, which I believe you are, that means you better have,
12 hours by January 1.
but I think you're over the 13 mark.
I just looked at it the other night, 13.5.
13 and a half.
Yeah. And well, and that's part of the reason that we've inserted the, like the statewide training in November and
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that seat
Yeah.
that need that training, yep.
Okay, any other questions on that one?
The next
2312?
Yes. On your cheat sheet, we did 3242 during board meeting, so that one's already been taken care of. And 2312, this one is kind of a Denise and Dawn policy. I'm kind of sharing this one, and it inserts our aides.
Hello?
And, Denise, do you have anything to add about that, with the aides in grades 1 to 3?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we were ahead of the game before it came out in law. The law just kind of redefined it, shaped it
Right.
up for us a little bit, put a little bit more restrictions or outlined it, 12, a classroom for 12 students or less, you could share. So I think it just shaped it up for us.
And we're comfortable with these ratios as provided in law?
Yeah.
Here again, I think if we go overboard. So we, even if we're right there at the 12 or less, then that teacher is going to have an aide, a full-time aide. So I think we do it right.
And we wanted our policy to say instructional aid and not ECAT, or paraprofessional, or interventionists. Because we use instructional aids, or you do have the flexibility in the law to use others. Now, here's a question I have, and let's hope we don't, as we are having less smaller schools, but we could do something with the split classrooms, if we want to do that as an administrative guideline, that says if you have a split, yes, for split classrooms, we could add an aid to that. And it could be an administrative guideline and not necessarily a policy, or we can add that piece to the policy.
Yeah.
Because that is something that, if we do have split classrooms, that you do vote on annually to either have them or not. They are cut annually, like we have to this year, that we know of, that you go to approve them because they are not state funded, they're outside of the state funding formula that we county fund those.
Yeah.
And we've traditionally done that for grades that were not included in the law, so right now,
Yeah.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Correct. I think that's been our board's
Yeah.
desire to do that. Board members, would you like to see that in policy, or is an administrative guideline sufficient?
It's easier to work with sometimes administrative guidelines, I'd say. I mean, you gotta manipulate it sometimes.
You get a little wiggle room, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's then.
That'd be a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Downs, second page, under physical education, and the choral and band, it says 3 additional compensation. What's the number they can have in class?
Those are broken down more on, it's kind of related back to the first page. For like pre-K, they can only have 20 students.
In
that
physical
first
education?
chart, yeah, do what?
In physical education and band both?
In those specific grade levels, K through.
That's
K
elementary.
through 6.
Elementary.
Elementary.
And so we do overage pay for those folks. They will submit to us how many children they have over 25, and we pay them.
But when you get to secondary, you get a little more freedom on the
Yes.
numbers.
But why, well, okay, that's fine. Why is that number not listed like it is over here on the first page? In your chart?
Probably 'cause it got-
This is an exemption. This is something extra, because this is additional exemptions.
Okay.
So we've already defined it on the other page. And on this page is just the extra.
So you refer back to this
courses.
number here, in other
Yes,
words?
sir.
Yeah. I think because it's on a second page, it kind of throws it off a
It
little
does.
bit.
This is the core classroom record, teacher of record chart, and then the specials or flows, or however you want to call them, it follows them.
So in these two settings, of the physical education and music,
Yes.
we st-
Art too.
even though they're easier to work with possibly, we still, okay.
In grades, K through, or pre-K through K through 6, yes.
I guess them little rascals are hard to deal with.
And we do that
Which would you rather choose?
Yeah,
I like the bigger ones than the little ones.
And we do enforce this with Oak Hill Middle, 6th grade, Midland Trail, 6th grade, and also Middle Ridge, Valley and Fayetteville. So all of them, those 6th graders, and we receive overage from all of those.
So just so I'm clear, maximum enrollment says 20 or 25.
Yes,
But we can actually add 3 over that.
yes, sir.
So that's truly the maximum enrollment.
Yeah, yeah.
Before you get to pay.
With compensation.
Right.
With
With
compensation.
Oh, with compensation, 3
Yeah.
over.
Yes, sir, you can't go over 28.
At all.
28 is the
There's-
max.
yeah.
That'd be
Right.
28 is the max.
In grades K through 6.
Yeah.
Through 6.
I understand that.
Okay.
So really, that's maximum enrollment with an exception for additional compensation in
Yes.
Well,
situations.
that helps you avoid having to add a teacher sometimes, and you just pay your teacher you have
And
more.
making those split grades, because if there's
Sure.
room,
That's better to have that way.
grade up or down, then that's where a lot of times whenever we create our splits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we've raised them to 28.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions on 2312?
On a financial end of that is, you know, we benefit, maybe not necessarily the educational end, but if you weigh those officers who are paying the compensation versus paying
Right.
another salary.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, moving to 4162.
And so this one is for CDL license, and the change in this is how long you must not drink before you drive a bus.
Okay. I noticed Chad slipped out here on this one.
He's probably fielding some questions right now about, are we going to practice or have games tonight? Because
Yeah.
like we told him, give us till noon to make those decisions. Just relax. So I could be wrong on that. Might be nothing.
Yeah, Valley was holding one, I think.
Oh, yeah. The thing is that people don't understand that if you've been in the transportation world, where you deal with that in the county, every transportation director, they have this whole long cheat sheet, and I mean it is long, with not only alcoholic, but any kind of drug you take. So let's say you take a drug to help you sleep at night.
Right.
You know, there are scheduled drugs that you can and cannot take, so that exempts, that cuts a lot of people right off from driving. And we get that because you're driving number one cargo, which is children, but Mr. Harper, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems to keep growing, that booklet
Yeah.
of medicines that you can and cannot take.
Right.
But anyway, everybody should know in this room, at least with alcohol, you shouldn't drink and drive, period.
Shouldn't
At
can't.
all, yeah.
Right, and so the changes, you can't 4 hours before you drive.
I'm with you on that.
Yes.
So
We
at
can change
4
it.
AM, I have to get in my bus, so I can't find anything.
Yeah.
Their testing is done at a local facility, someplace we just send them to.
Yes. Yeah.
Random pool monthly.
Okay.
But if there is a suspicion,
Yeah,
then
oh,
we
absolutely.
direct.
Yes.
Okay.
That includes even me. Anybody that drives a county car, we're all subject to that drug testing. So I think it's great that happens, because
I do too.
we need to be aware of what we're doing when we're working, you know?
That means if we have an accident in the county car too, we.
Drug tests,
Yep.
yep.
And that's
That's why I-
mandatory with any accident of
Yeah.
any county vehicle, correct?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And does that go as far, and I'm probably getting off, but even in our equipment that we use, like the man lifts and things like that, if there's a.
Yes,
Anything.
yes, it
Okay.
does. And that's good for both parties because it helps
Yeah,
protect
sure.
everybody. And then our Brim Insurance appreciates that when we take that extra step if we do anything such as that. But everybody does a good job of, in this county, paying attention to what they need to do to be, cognizant of their job. So we're pretty good right there.
Okay.
And Mr. Shrewsbury Senior, Leon, does a great job of doing all the training and recruiting. That man, I'm glad he doesn't really want to retire, because he does an excellent job of recruiting and training people. We're very fortunate to have him.
All right, any other questions on 4162? Okay, 5223.
And this is a medium change policy. And this is Ms. Hedrick, you can kind of talk about it. We have a few strikeouts on this policy.
Do you have any questions, first off, before we get started?
Pretty clear.
We're following state law, as Ms. Williams said, there are just a few strikeouts. We do not have in this county a lot of our students that, to my knowledge, submit anything for missing school. But on occasion, when it has occurred, our principal will handle it very well.
And you see, this last was updated in 2007, so it's been a while. And this just came, it's a November update. So this is a brand new update given to us.
Okay.
And it's
Pretty-
just a strikeout.
Pretty
I
straightforward.
like a one-pager, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
They are.
I'm sure Miss Dooley and the staff appreciate one-pagers too.
We do.
All right, let's move on then to 5335.
And this one is care of students with chronic health conditions. And this is pretty important for us to put this in because the previous policy had COVID or did not have COVID. And this one now has been coming since COVID and some changes with the COVID pieces. Because it was last updated in June of 2020. So things have changed in the COVID world. And so those changes, let's see.
Mr. Fenth, did you have anything to add to this policy or comments?
So one of the things that we did, we worked with, early in the year, we worked with our attorney, and we updated our chronic condition form. And we used, when we went to our regional groups, a combination of counties form, and what was sent it to our legal team, and it has been approved. And our schools, our principals, our nurses, they all are to be using this particular form that goes with it.
Policy change. Yes.
So if we have, how do we determine if a nurse is school-based? Is it based on the number of actual issues within the school? So, maybe, and I'll use Ansted Elementary, it's a small school, but if it has a high population of diabetic children, is that in our consideration in putting a full-time nurse there versus a school that may be larger but have less chronic health issues?
We do monitor that, and just like, it's not Ansted, but on, over at that area, we moved an LPN nurse, her home location to the Midland Trail as being her home base because there was a higher number of medical needs.
Okay.
We also have a floating LPN nurse that, I think state policy tells us how many nurses that is suggested to have per our population.
Right.
And then all of our nurses are itinerant and based upon student needs, they can be moved at any point in time.
And I think that's my point. Population doesn't necessarily dictate need,
Right.
right? So,
It's not the only thing, it is the number of medical needs at each school.
and is there a consideration when we have school-based health at a location? Is that considered covering for a nurse if we have?
It is taken into consideration, which more, a lot of our schools do now have those or, on the campus thereof, so.
So let me maybe be more specific.
Okay.
So let's say Midland Trail again has a school-based health facility there, Oak Hill Middle, right? We have one there. It's in
The campus.
Between, well, NRI has one there
Right.
under their roof, and then Oak Hill Middle and New River Primary have one at a
Okay.
joint, and then Oak Hill High School has one behind their facility.
Right, so
Our
if,
Valley, it has, it's
It has
covered.
Yes, it has one.
so if they have a student that's diabetic and needs insulin and versus us putting an LP in there, can they go into the health center and receive that insulin shot?
They have to have, their parents have to agree for them to be seen at that facility. There's a beginning of, well, they can do it at any particular point in time, but they have to be a patient. The parents have to, be on board with sending them.
But if they do sign that versus our nurses doing it, can the health center nurse do
I
it?
would assume so.
Because I would think that would be in our considerations before we place
Another nurse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we've not had that posed, but, as student needs change, then we definitely, we take a strong.
So that's something we could consider. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And there's two types of nurses too. You have, what you're talking about more is the LPN, and we still contract with them, right? With another company?
When there's a need.
When there's a need.
Yeah, we're fully staffed right now.
Yeah. And then we have the other RNs, which are placed in the school, and that would be the school.
Basin. Yeah.
Yes, but we do have.
Andy, is it
several LPNs.
Indigo? What is it called?
Yeah, Indigo.
Indigo?
Source.
Yeah.
So, we've got 5 RNs, okay? I think it's 1,600 students per nurse, the rough ratio in the state right now. We've got 5 RNs, and then they supervise another 5.
Okay.
Then we have some subs, so nurses who are retired, that we call first. We have vacancies, and then we have 2 different nursing contracts, Indigo Health and ProSource. And if we have a situation where, nurses are out on field trips and a nurse is out sick, then we kind of move down that line of that.
So on staff, we have 10 nurses that we hired.
Yeah, so 5 RNs.
Mm.
Yep.
Right now, we're good.
Where they're placed and what they're doing is all based upon students.
Do we have that listed in any policy?
Yes, this one, well, it says what the 3 big student needs are, which are
Yeah.
peanut allergies, asthma, and diabetes.
Well, yeah, no, I'm referencing the comment of number of students that dictates how many are in. So what'd you say, 1,500?
In a policy, I don't know
Well,
what.
it might be this too, because it says it's according to the student's health plan and their IEP, or a 504 plan, yes.
Andy, is it under, if you go to the last page, is it 3 of 3? Am I reading that right? Okay, you guys see the reference where it says West Virginia Board of Ed Policy 2422.7? Is that where it has that student ratio, or am I incorrect on that? Or do you know? Can you pull that up? Is that what you're kind of
Yeah,
referencing?
it is, yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding my president here. It-
Let's see, I don't have that policy in front of me.
Okay.
I have to,
If you go to the state website and just go under that 2000, that 2422.7, that might be able to answer Mr. Gray's question about the ratio number.
Yeah, and just that, I don't need the answer right now.
Right.
But, I mean, if you can find it, great, but board members, if you're,
Oh, Dilly's on it. She's right there. Yep.
I'll tell you, it's amazing how complicated it has come
Yes, it is.
to find answers for public education.
Yeah, and
And-
what's funny is the peanut allergy has trumped allergies. Just, I just
Because
figured you'd
it's
put,
more prevalent.
wouldn't you just say allergy?
I would just say
That's the
allergies.
one, but
That
anyway,
makes
it's,
no sense to me, because it says, and other food allergies, well, there's plenty of allergies that aren't food.
yeah.
Like bee stings, which is one thing that you're gonna see in a school.
Or
It's not
poison
just-
ivy when you start weed eating in the spring.
I would just say allergies
Yeah.
and leave out peanut and food. I don't know. That's
Well,
just
if
me.
you want to, Ms. Whitlock, what we could do is you could leave A, you could say we'll keep B, and you could say we'll keep C and D. We don't have to,
I just, doesn't make sense to me to only have food allergies, because that's not the real world. You got a lot more allergies out there than food.
well, would you guys like us to keep B
Do you
then?
want us to keep these?
I
for
think-
regular
Just because it's
allergies?
struck out doesn't mean we have to do
Right.
it.
I think bee sting just came to mind.
Okay.
yeah, I
We'll
think,
just, we'll
Not being
keep,
a food allergy.
we'll keep B then, that's fine.
And my other question is, when we refer to physical health, we have nothing on here about mental health. So chronic health conditions only concern here are physical. There's nothing on here about chronic mental health conditions. Is there other policies about chronic mental health conditions, or am I stretching that too far?
You know, I think where you're talking, we have health conditions where we talk about suicide, but I don't know that we have a mental health.
Yeah, because you have chronic mental health conditions like depression and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm not speaking as a professional mental health person. I'm just saying.
As an
this is a
observer.
limiting- This is a limiting policy as far as our actions.
On that page 3, it does have our administrative guidelines too.
Yeah,
But I
so-
think it'd be nice to have,
Right.
like you said,
And
if
the
that
same-
ratio is reflecting that.
that would be good to see
Exactly.
that, yeah.
I will look for that too.
I don't know,
Yeah.
It seems limiting for what we have to deal with.
Dawn, I noted here too, to see what
Okay.
this policy's
Yeah.
reflecting the ratio,
Yeah.
1 to whatever, you know.
It's not in this one. I don't see the ratio in this one.
Okay, a quick, another search here, I think I found it, it's 18-5-22, county boards shall provide, shall employ full-time at least one school nurse for every 1,500 kindergarten through seventh grade pupils. That's how law reads.
How many?
One per 1,000?
Goodness.
1,500. I'm sorry, I was reading it as the law read, that sounded.
Oh, that's
really wonky.
under 18A with law,
Mhm.
not a
Oh,
policy,
to
okay.
seventh grade.
Okay.
Am I correct that we expect, these are on our website, correct?
Yep,
And parents can access them, correct?
yes.
Yes.
And we hope that they study these, correct?
No, I don't expect anybody to study
On the
'em.
first page here,
We don't even.
I'm being honest, I don't people,
I know.
I think.
and I'm
it-
being facetious.
I get that, but I'm also gonna answer, I don't expect them, because honestly, if they're asking questions, that's good. A dialogue is good.
Yes.
What page are you on, Coach?
Page
On
one.
the first page, just
Okay.
nitpicky. I don't like that Neola has never realized in West Virginia, we have 55 counties, not 55 districts that we reference. That's just my nitpicky thing.
No, I'm glad, I must have missed that.
Down to almost the bottom, the district would coordinate school health.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Just something
You picked them up good. I mean,
Neola doesn't know that we are not in Ohio.
They have 88 counties there.
That was my fault.
I know,
no,
you shouldn't have to look for it.
no.
That's not your fault. Don't even
Coach, you
take
get
that
to
blame.
you get to get in line early today for lunch for that. You get to go first for that.
No, I'll go last.
All right.
Punish yourself, Tony.
Any other questions on, what was that one?
We're beating that dead horse.
Yeah, 5335.
And we do have to, after it's approved, we have to add administrative guidelines and we will do that.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll look for that ratio and have a
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to 5340.
And this one is a medium change policy. This includes having AED devices at youth and school sports,
Right.
which is very important.
Do we have an inventory, how many we have?
Andy does, yeah.
We do now.
And he also
And
inventories their
they're checked
batteries.
by the nurses.
Yeah.
And do we train staff? I assume we train our staff on them?
Well, she's stepping out, but, I mean.
Would you happen to
Well,
have-
what's the,
Would you happen
what's
to
the
have the
question,
number?
the trained staff on it?
Yes.
To all of our teachers, custodians, cooks?
So.
She's getting a
they
number.
train, so aides that, well, and staff that are getting additional pay, at the beginning of the year, we do a CPR and first aid and food safety training. And so that happens at the very beginning of the year. We have 2 different sessions that they have a chance to go to, and they get a little pay bump to participate in that, or if they, get that certification.
Now, how many do we have in each school, Andy? Or,
Beyond
just,
that,
okay,
I was
just
gonna
for use at school day.
Say I'd like to
Yeah, this is
take a
during the
break at
school day.
11:30. I
This
want to
is,
ask you when
It's like aides and secretaries and
say, hey, I
anybody.
think
I mean, how many devices do we have?
it's all right, what he's thinking
I would
is
have to
direction.
go look at the actual thing.
I think we're all
It's probably
excited.
about a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Don't we have them at every football field?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every ball?
So,
Tress is getting it right
yeah,
now.
what,
I want to do that.
what we
25.
track is what's actually.
Do what?
I want to do that 25.
Outside of the school,
Yeah,
like
he's
coaches
ready.
will
He's
take
on
them to
with
games
Bob.
and stuff like that. They track those. So our nurses, check all of ours. But like on our campus, we've got like 4 or 5, right here at the board, over at,
If I'm not mistaken, for after-school activities, each activity is going on, they must have a device. If I have, for example, band,
They do.
I have a cross-country meet, I have cross-country, a soccer match going on and the middle school football game on one campus.
You have to have.
I mean, each one of those have to have a device.
They have to have access.
Yes.
It has to be,
Yes.
Access.
it has to be accessible, yeah, it has to be.
They have to have what?
it has to
Be accessible.
Okay, what's that mean?
Well, it has to
You
be.
have to have access.
You know,
They know where to find it.
Yeah,
They know where it is.
I have a cross-country meet going on and the device is in the school.
Middle school.
That's what the merges.
Is that correct? It could happen?
I think,
Well, I guess it depends on the proximity to the event.
if,
Generally, there's a field house
Right there.
in proximity to the event. We don't really think
Okay.
about the ones in the
Thank you.
school.
one,
I'm just trying to think.
unless it's basketball.
one of the requirements, one of,
So what you're saying, if I have a cross-country meet or practice, it's gotta be both of them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if I went to that coach and asked him where the AD was, he could tell me.
one of the,
Everybody on the team is supposed to be able to
Supposed to be
One-
able to tell you.
They fill out a form for the SSAC.
Okay.
Turn in.
That's why I was doing what
and if you take, if you're a coach, because I just got through doing mine, you're a coach, every event that you go to, you gotta take one with you.
Yes.
It's a requirement in order for you to coach, you have to have that AED with you. So that
You
might answer.
you just answered the question. So Tressa just said, this is from the nurses, 36. This does not include the athletics like he's talking
This is in our
about.
school 36.
Yeah, 36.
Good.
This is from our nurses. Now, the athletic are separate, and those are, I'd have to get a number on
Didn't the
those.
SSAC provide some for that, Tim?
Right.
You know, Andy, you know?
No.
Because I know they got a grant.
No, it's on us now to pay for
Look
those.
now.
Those,
No,
do,
no.
do we,
That's a county thing. That's an unfunded mandate. We'll just put it that way. But it's
How much
okay.
it cost?
Mandate.
How much
those
it cost now?
AEDs cost, what is it, $500 to $1,000? Yeah,
They're refurbished, but if they're brand new, you're looking at 1,500, 1,600.
right.
Really?
And
And then you
Andy,
got
when
it-
those batteries go out, the pads, do we replace the whole unit or?
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't
Yes.
replace the pads. The pads, like, they're good for about a year or so.
Okay.
Battery's good for like
3 years, aren't they?
5 years, somewhere in there.
Depending on the.
And I remember, as a principal, you check them
You
at
do.
the end of every year.
You
You send
do.
that report in, whether that battery needs to be replaced or whatever.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's usually the pads are annual and the battery's about every 3. That's about your going rate.
Guys, I know it's, you know, some people think that's an aggravation. It just takes one time.
It's,
They had to have it.
I agree.
And you want that battery dead.
It's kind of like
You know,
your
you want to see if
insurance.
it's
You're
accessible.
glad you have it if you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Tim.
So just, I'll
Andy.
close this out and then, Ms. Dooley, what time are our principals going to be available for us?
Not until about 1:30.
Okay, so we have
We
till,
could do our local sport card if you want after this one.
okay, well, we'll at least do 1:30. Board members, I think it would be wise to take a break right here, just a quick health break. I don't know if you're okay with that. So let's take a health break. Is that good?
Bob, could you pull up
Yeah,
our
Coach,
guest on there? I guess you're going to put them on the TVs?
So,
He was there and then he zoned out.
Yeah, Coach Ray, they make it,
I
they got strict.
and I'm going to bring, Ms. Dooley, I'm going to bring this back up
If
to
you coaching
him.
now, they
Although I know the challenges with it, but I don't want to lose sight of
The
us
AD was,
exploring funding for striker
He got
devices.
He got lit up for that.
I know they're expensive,
I would be,
and if we could, but if we could get a grant
Did their first
Yes.
for those,
cross-country meet,
which are automatic
and they asked me to help them with
CPR
my job
device.
was to get the
Oh,
AED,
gotcha,
set it
yeah.
right up there so that.
Our AEDs are checked every month.
oh, good.
There's a law. Schools check them, and they have to check the battery, they check the pads, they have to check, they have to sign off to what day it was checked. So they're checked every month.
Thanks,
Just
Tim.
letting you know.
Tim, is there a program that will, buy you an AED for your?
Speaking of attorneys,
Keep spending our own money.
That guy right there is a little scary.
I'm not talking about our county.
Yeah. What you got?
This happened down in.
That's right.
oh, that's the owl.
Several of their AEDs. when
I was like,
Mr.
what's
President,
trying to get.
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
And they ask the county
Doing our
to do this,
policies this way,
like they don't wanna get us
for me, I like.
Well, we
It
get a
works as a
lot of
setting.
good dialogue.
This is I figured you guys would like it. This is better for me to learn than
When
everybody
you're at a
else.
regular meeting, you gotta take care of a few that I know.
Yeah.
But you feel like, well, I shouldn't ask this question, shouldn't talk about this.
Nah.
Because you try, people wanna get home late, you know, not late.
No, I. Oh,
Are we still on the air? We're still on the air?
We're still in the air.
yeah, we're still on. We're just tying in with people on. We were talking about an attorney earlier, so we'll get Trey to help us out.
And let's see if we can get him back on. Let me see if he was there and then he zoned back out again, so I don't know if he got busy. But,
Hey, Pat, and Dave.
Yeah.
Before I forget, something else I wanted to mention. At one time, we had our legislators before the session started. I'd like to see us try to do that if we can. I thought it was very beneficial.
Yeah, if we can get them to come.
Before a meeting, instead of getting it last time.
Yeah, that's good. We've got the whole gang. Hello, everybody.
They heard it was lunchtime.
Right.
It's lunchtime.
there it is.
There's Trey.
Okay,
Hey,
and, well, he's muted. Let me see if,
Well, unmute Trey.
well, he's probably got to do it
I think
himself.
he's got to unmute. He's muted.
Can you see if he sees us?
Lawyers don't know that.
Yeah, hopefully he should be seeing us.
Hey Siri, call Trey Moreau.
Calling Trey Mobile.
He should be seeing us. And we need to have him unmute. And see if he.
Well, hopefully he hears us so that he can.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get him. He says I can't hear anything.
Okay.
You need to unmute.
Let's see if we can hear him. Yeah. Now, see. Can he hear us?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear us?
He's unmuted.
How we doing, Trey?
He still
Okay,
doesn't.
you may have to turn up his volume. Maybe.
His mouth not moving up.
My end.
Yeah, he's not hearing us.
Looks good.
That's the picture right there. Maybe I'll talk to the checker, this formal stuff, not the picture.
Yeah. He says I'm unmuted. Should I try to say so?
Yeah, see if.
Yeah. Do you just want me to put him on my phone? Would that work, Bob?
That may have to work, because for some reason, we've got him maxed out on the speaker. It's going to here.
Yeah, dial him up, Dave.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, see if, at least we can see him, and then if we can do the speaker.
Morning, Trey. How are you?
Well, apparently I'm technically challenged.
No, it's not you. Would it be better to put him on a mic here?
If you put
Can-
that mic down, that mic.
Can you talk, Trey, to see if it works?
Yes, I'm testing 1, 2, 3.
That's good.
1, 2, 3, back. You're good.
All right.
Hey, Trey, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can explain what's going on here because we surprised Miss Dial, and she's going to be mad at me later this afternoon. But her mom's here, so she's got to behave. Okay? Can you explain what took place earlier this year and what an honor this is for Miss Dial in our county?
I'd be happy to. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Trey Marone with Bowles Rice, and thank you so much just for the invitation to be there today. I wish I could be there in person, but I'm thrilled that you allowed me to attend remotely. You know, each year, the West Virginia Association of School Human Resource Officials, I know that's kind of personnel directors statewide, that's a big phrase, West Virginia Association of School Human Resources Officials, we call it West Virginia ASHRO, they select a recipient of the Gregory Bailey West Virginia School Human Resource Official of the Year award. So the organization actually selects the winner of the award annually. Now, a little bit about this award. We had a law partner who passed unexpectedly, and he was in education law and committed for many, many decades to that, and Bowles-Rice created this award back in 2016 in his memory. So it's presented annually to the school human resource official who has distinguished themselves in personnel administration and has contributed to the betterment of public education in the community. Denise Dial is certainly unquestionably someone who embodies those qualities, in her work. We know that she's served Fayette County schools for many years, beginning her career in the classroom and teaching, and then worked under the direction of the late Margaret Pennington, who we know well, and was a prior recipient of this particular award. So you folks in Fayette County have some top-notch human resource officials that you've produced over the years. Denise has gained deep experience in certification, personnel operations, and just statewide recognition of her leadership. Her colleagues consistently point to her integrity, her steady approach to difficult challenges, and her willingness to learn from those around her. Her academic background is very strong as well. This year, as I mentioned, ASHRO selected Denise Dial. And if you know Denise and if you've seen her work in personnel administration, it's easy to understand why. Now, as I said, we've set up this award in memory of our late law partner Greg Bailey, and it's awarded annually. So Denise, I don't know if she was surprised, she may not have it with her, but she has an award that's like a big, really, really nice. I know I'm going to not be. Do you see it? I see it now. Yes, I see it. Okay, now there's another piece to that I intended to bring today. I'm going to show you. If you can see it, this is the stand that it goes on.
It's like show and tell, Trey.
So, you know how in the schools you have a trophy case, and I'm sure in Fayette County you've got many trophies over the years to show off. Well, this can go in a trophy case, or certainly should be displayed somewhere on her desk or in her office somewhere where everybody can see it. But you can see that each side of this has 9 plates on it. Denise is here. I don't know that you can get a good picture of that, but her engravement, she is the 10th recipient. We had 9 so far. You'll see Margaret Pennington is going to be on there. And then she is the 10th recipient. So we've already inscribed it. This is ready to go. I was going to have this in hand when we surprised her today. We will get this over to you. And this is kind of part of the fun of this tradition, is it operates a little bit kind of like those I don't know, recently, I've only watched Dancing with the Stars a couple of times, but they have that mirror ball, and I don't know if everybody gets their own copy of it or take it home, but this award that you have in this base that I have is something that moves and passes from winner to winner each year. So this award has moved all around the state of West Virginia, and folks know what it means and what it stands for. And it's held for the entire year by the person who's been honored by the organization, and then next year it would move on to the next person. But at that time when we award it, we present Denise with it's a smaller version, but a smaller version that she can keep permanently, and that she will have as her own award to keep. Well, today, serves as a formal recognition of Denise's selection. Her contributions have been, evident to many folks, certainly us. We see her a lot of our workshops and trainings and things for a very long time. They will continue to influence this school system in Fayette County and the statewide, human resource community for many years to come. So it's certainly our honor, although we're not necessarily the ones who select the winner. We know Denise, and we're thrilled that she was selected. It's a privilege to us to recognize her here at your meeting today as the West Virginia ASHRO's 2025 Gregory Bailey West Virginia School Human Resource Official of the Year. Fayette County is truly fortunate to have her leadership, and the statewide school HR community, I know, is stronger because of her. So just once again, congratulations, an award very well selected and very much deserved by Denise.
Denise, can you come up here so we can get a picture with you?
So, while I pass by, I'm going to go ahead and point out another recipient that we have here in the house, I guess.
Doug is, I think he's retired now from Greenbrier County Schools, so he did a great job over there. And as a RESA director, I'll never forget when they did stories. I think you riffed your mother and and who else did you riff?
Well,
In 1 year?
well, my mother, my brother, and also the next year, my daughter. My wife wasn't upset with me for any of them, except when I ripped my daughter. That was pretty rough.
So when you told that story, I thought, man, this is how public education is. Congratulations, we're so proud of you. I know all of this. You're putting the rose between the thorns. And I think it's state law, you have to showcase that so everybody knows about this. Hide it in your office like that. You want to get famous. Oh, are you putting Jell-O in?
Make her stand there.
How are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's hard to get in there. It's a closed.
I think this is brought to you by the family on this one. I think you're honored to do that with.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
I think you
wanna
can't break the ball.
All right.
You have to return it.
Are you okay to? I'm gonna do this.
We can
It's right here.
yeah, or we can move the picture, just put it right there.
Bob can move around.
It's really nice.
I'm gonna get this order.
You get out of the picture. She's gonna sit over there.
That's really pretty. Congratulations. You got 3 ladies here taking care of you, don't you?
They're good bosses.
You're still on air. So. Do you mind, that's on me. There we go, it's just perfect. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Right. Okay, I want you to look at me.
Which one do we look at? Captures a lot of bosses out there.
Those people.
Thank you all very much.
Some of those people work here.
Way to go.
We always knew we had the best.
Congratulations.
Well, she has to, she's personnel.
Thank you all for being a part of this. So many people very, very, very integral in keeping this a secret.
Surprise!
So since you're HR personnel, you appreciate confidentiality. How'd you like that one? Turnabout's fair play. So, Mr. Gray, do you mind saying the blessing?